new Hyflex teaching and learning modality. When I talk about learning modalities, we're talking about fully online, hybrid, fully in person, right? And this new Hyflex modality is sort of transformational for CSN. What is it? Well, it's essentially gives us the opportunity to have our faculty, those that are interested, to teach and to engage our students in their learning in a way that's synchronous, so it's real time. Think of it as with the technology in the room, and I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but technology and monitors and learning tools all around the walls of the room and microphones and cameras. We're essentially giving students the opportunity to learn wherever they're at in the world, but still be within the classroom, so to speak, virtually. Simultaneously, it gives us the opportunity to meet some students in person in the classroom with the faculty member, if that's where the faculty member is. So imagine you've got an anthropology class, and I'm just going to use hypothetical numbers here, just made up numbers. Imagine the class capacity, pedagogically appropriate class capacity for anthropology is, let's say, 30 students. And let's say we had a faculty member who was ready to deploy Anthropology 101, and they were at the North Las Vegas campus. That's where their home base was as a faculty member. And they wanted to make sure that their class was also accessible from other campuses and other students at other campuses without having to engage in driving. So we could literally reserve 10 enrolled seats in the North Las Vegas classroom with the faculty member. We could have 10 seats also at our Charleston campus and 10 seats also at our Henderson campus. Or think of it in terms of access in some of our rural areas. We could have 15 seats at our North Las Vegas campus live with the faculty member and 15 seats virtually shared at our Mesquite site out in Mesquite, Nevada, where those students would enroll in the classroom up there. All of this instruction would be synchronous in real time with real-time engagement. Students would see each other, the faculty would see the students would see the faculty, no matter where they were learning. So the opportunities are almost endless in terms of how this could play out, but it's really allowing us to provide flexibility to the instructional space, leveraging the technology that has no doubt been around since at least the 90s. I remember at Fresno State, where I did undergrad in California, I took a variety of classes in rural Visalia at the local community college that were deployed in Hyflex mode from the university an hour up the road. So here we are in 2021, getting ready for 2022, and we're excited to launch this. So why are we launching this new modality option? Well, we learned a lot, right? We learned so much when we had to abruptly pivot in March of 2020. Having a modality like this, where if in any scenario we are required to reduce class capacities due to the health and safety of our environment with social distancing and the like, we'll be able to leverage this technology to still do just that. It also provides more immediate access to classes that sometimes go under-enrolled at a given site. But imagine if you've got one of those typical under-enrolled classes that struggles to make with the minimum enrollment. If you're able to deploy a few seats here and a few seats there and a few seats online for the same one class, same students, sort of engaging synchronously, that opportunity will present itself. So that's kind of why we're doing this. And I've been thinking a lot about how this is going to be funded. And the good news is, because we are no doubt in the midst of this pandemic and we have received millions of dollars in federal aid to help support pivots, if you will, to the way in which we engage our instruction. This goes, for everything for providing laptops and hotspots for internet connectivity to students who have unreliable or no connectivity. But it also can be used, is eligible for use, this HERF funding, this CARES Act funding, for this kind of digital transformation. And so that's how we will leverage the funding to support our students and our faculty in their teaching and learning. Now, no doubt, some faculty will love to experience this and other faculty will say, no, thank you. And that is perfectly acceptable. This is just another option, another tool in the toolkit in terms of a modality. Now, we're not going to build this overnight, of course. We want, just like any good pilot, to be a limited pilot so we can learn from the experience and we can learn together and tweak and assess and make continuous improvement before we go with sort of full bore speed on this modality. So what we're asking our department chairs and our deans to do is to start talking about it with faculty and start to garner some interest. And for our faculty who think, based on their discipline and their specific courses, that it would lend itself nicely to this kind of a learning modality, we want to give them the opportunity to participate in a pilot. We're essentially going to stand up at least one classroom on each of our campuses for spring. That build out will occur here in just a few weeks. and we'll be able to test the water, so to speak. There's all kinds of integration that's necessary with my CSN, with our registrar, with communication with to our campus community, particularly our students, so they understand when they enroll in a Hyflex class what that means and where their seat is, whether that be in the virtual environment or in person on a campus or campuses. So much more to come, but let me show you what some of this might look like. These are just mock-ups, but imagine that you see the instructor there in the front of the room. You see cameras and microphones sporadically placed in the ceilings, and you see a wall of monitors, and these monitors can display a presentation that the professor is making. They can present a website, any other materials. It'll show the students who might be connected online so that the students who are in the physical room can still engage and see everyone sort of in the virtual space at the same time. The chat feature in Teams could be uploaded. So there's all kinds of opportunities for customizing what is displayed on these screens. Here's another angle. This is from the back side, right? It's taking it from the point of view of the faculty member at the front of the room. And so you can see that the faculty member can also see a plethora of screens behind the students. It should feel like a synchronous, interactive engagement, no matter where the students may be sitting in this world for their instruction. This kind of gives you a sense of what the microphones and what the cameras will look like, and the presets to be able to focus on the instructor as the instructor moves, and the students in the class, as well, of course, as the students who are on their computers if they're receiving the information from some other place outside of the college campus. And then just a quick snapshot of what the monitor and the control panel might look like. So very similar to the touch panels that we have in our current smart classrooms. It'll have presets for turning on one or more of the monitors and displaying specific content on each monitor at the customization level that the faculty member would like. Also be a touch panel specifically for using Microsoft Teams in the classroom, so it should make connecting to Microsoft Teams much easier and should be very easy on our students. No doubt we'll have to deploy some technical support in classrooms, particularly if we're streaming the interactivity, synchronous instruction across multiple physical places within one or more of our sites or campuses. We'll have technical support in every room at the same time so that we can make sure that we can troubleshoot any challenges as technology occurs moving forward. So just kind of the goals for the Hyflex. Faculty, this is for you as you're thinking about maybe raising your hand or not raising your hand for the pilot, and you maybe want to explore this. Here are some of the goals that we're looking to accomplish in this immediate pilot. Number one is access to synchronous courses by students from anywhere that they may reside. Considerations for the course, the students who would be attending the course, your particular teaching goals, whether or not you've got a heavy hands-on experience that's necessary in a laboratory setting, for example, where this may or may not work for your particular course or courses. To facilitate interactions between students, right, even those that are coming in virtually, synchronously. Kind of creating that equitable experience for both online and in-person students at the same time. Facilitating the connection between students and instructor, particularly for those that are joining virtually, kind of re-engaging with synchronous kinds of conversations and discussions, and encouraging active participation and discussion, and ultimately supporting greater accessibility and student flexibility. So with that, if this sounds like something that might be interesting to you to participate in the pilot, we would ask that you communicate that interest to your department chair for consideration for the pilot, and we'll work with you. Basically, we're going to create a cohort of faculty who want to explore this and explore together. And so we'll deploy a variety of professional development and training opportunities over the course of this fall semester so that we can learn from each other and work through pedagogical approach and share best practices, for example, as we're all kind of new to this space, or many of us are new to this space. And then, of course, when the spring semester launches, you'll be off to the races, and we'll stay engaged as a cohort of faculty who are in this space and learn what's working, what's not working, and hopefully prepare even a better opportunity for more students and more faculty to engage in this Hyflex model for the following academic year. As this is sort of being built out, the level of communication needs to be through the roof, particularly for students, right? And as they encounter this new learning modality, they need to understand exactly what this is and what this isn't, and what the expectations are for their physical attendance, whether that be from the comfort of their living room or from one of our other sites.